Local doctors are sounding the alarm this morning on how easy it can be for a child to die after coming into contact with fentanyl. That is exactly what police in Houma say happened to a 6-week-old whose mother faces charges in the infant's death. Police arrested Megan Cortez Monday on negligent homicide charges. The arrest came several months after investigators say Cortez awoke to an unresponsive baby. Our Lily Cummings looks into this case as well as other fentanyl-linked child deaths in recent years.
In February, the Terrebonne Parish Sheriff's Office was called about an unresponsive infant. The 6-week-old was rushed to the hospital where they died. Soon after, detectives were able to confirm the mother, 30-year-old Megan Cortez, was a heroin user who used hours prior to the incident. In April, the Jefferson Parish coroner classified the infant's death as homicide by fentanyl overdose.
Fentanyl can actually be transdermal, which means it can go through the skin, especially in a very small baby.
While the Terrebonne Sheriff's Office attributes the baby's death to close contact with Cortez after using and handling the narcotic, WWL Louisiana medical expert Dr. Corey Hebert says it's possible the drugs were exchanged through breastfeeding.
I cannot imagine another way that a baby would get fentanyl except through breast milk, but stranger things have happened. That's all I can say. And so at this point we can't speculate, but if the toxicology report did show fentanyl, then there was fentanyl there.
Regardless of how it entered the child's system, DEA experts say it doesn't take much to be deadly.
The New Orleans division, which consists of the entire state of Louisiana, Arkansas, Alabama, and Mississippi, we see fentanyl poisonings every single day.
Not all of those are children, but in recent years, local kids have been victims. In 2023, a 1-year-old died in Kenner. Kenner police told us the coroner found a fatal dose of fentanyl in the child's system. And in 2022, a 2-year-old Baton Rouge boy died after overdosing 3 times on fentanyl found inside his home.
To give some perspective on how prevalent fentanyl is, the Orleans Parish Coroner reports nearly 500 accidental drug-related deaths last year. Fentanyl was detected in 86% of them.
Lily Cummings reporting for us this morning. Want to get to St. Tammany Parish now, where deputies there arrested a man from Pearl River on suspicion he killed his father. Vincent LaFrance is accused of shooting his father, Douglas LaFrance, in the head on May 26th. Authorities say that shooting took place at the father's home on Slaughter Drive in the Pearl River area. Deputies arrested his son last night on a first-degree murder charge. Investigators have not said what led up to this shooting. Over to Washington Parish now, where 3 teenagers have been indicted in a case surrounding that fatal shooting outside of Bogalusa High School earlier this year. 16-year-old Keldrick Harry, 17-year-old Hakeem Young, and 17-year-old Amari Jefferson will be tried as adults on first-degree murder and attempted murder charges. As we've reported, that shooting happened in January outside of the school while a basketball game was underway. Authorities say a 15-year-old boy had just walked out of the game when he was shot and killed. A 13-year-old boy also was wounded in this shooting. To New Orleans now, where the New Orleans Police Department has been given the green light to file a plan to end the 12-year-old consent decree. A major development there. The federal judge overseeing the consent decree praised the department's progress at a hearing on yesterday. Judge Susie Morgan said that the city can now submit a plan for a 2-year sustainment period.
What it says is that the police department is reformed and that we are ready to move on and to show that we can sustain the reforms that have taken 11 years to take place. It is a turnaround.
Chief Kirkpatrick there. Federal authorities put the NOPD under a consent decree after an investigation by the Justice Department found a host of problems within the department. Those problems included biased policing, brutality, corruption, inadequate training, also lax oversight. Well, tonight, the Independent Police Monitor, they're going to hold a public forum to talk about the consent decree. It's taking place from 5:30 until 7 at the NOPD Academy. That's on Paris Avenue. Staying with the NOPD, mold, leaks, and roof damages are plaguing New Orleans buildings. Now there are concerns over how inadequate conditions are impacting first responders. Alyssa Curtis spoke with a city council member who says the New Orleans Fire Department deserves better.
Near the corner of Norman C. Francis Parkway and Bowdoin Street, blue confetti-like strips can be seen in nearly every direction. No, it's not leftover Mardi Gras decorations. It's bits and pieces from the torn tarp that's been on top of Fire Station 26 for years.
We did some repairs ourselves, and I think the city actually had a contractor that went around and did some tarps on some of the stations as a stopgap until the roofs could be replaced.
Councilmember Leslie Harris says inside isn't any better.
There's a lot of water intrusion. We saw buckets that had been placed around bed areas because they also sleep there. Where there's a heavy rain, water is coming through and they have to drain the buckets.
NOFD Superintendent Roman Nelson says the roof at Station 26 and some others had been repaired through FEMA-funded renovations, but Hurricane Ida destroyed it again.
It's challenging. You know, our firefighters, they do a very difficult job. And then the added thing of water leaks, dripping water, mold from water leaks.
After Hurricane Ida, 11 stations needed roof repairs. 5 of them have been completed.
Apparently the bid for this station has gone out 3 times, but each time there were contractual issues.
Unfortunately, Fire Station Engine 26 isn't the only city building with these issues. Recently, NOPD has reported some similar conditions in some of their buildings.
We have historic buildings in New Orleans, and I think that prior property management directors weren't necessarily prioritizing keeping our buildings in check.
Hopefully, Station 26 won't be dealing with this for much longer. Harris brought the city's Department of Property Management with her when she toured the station.
We need to make sure that the conditions that they're working in are safe and sanitary and allow them to do their jobs in the most efficient and safest way.
Harris says our first responders deserve the same type of commitment they have towards the city. In New Orleans, Alyssa Curtis, WWL Louisiana.
And Councilperson Harris says the timeline for renovations is unclear right now, especially because the station is a historic building, which requires different care here. The city will start retarping the station, though, we are told, soon.